This week we wanted to talk about, what we've gone through this year in real estate in Albuquerque and what we see coming down the pike. I do see some challenges as well as some opportunities in the real estate market in Albuquerque.
Yeah. Obviously, end of year, we always do kind of a recap, and we'll have more of that into January. But we're also talking a little bit about what we expect for 2021, mostly the opportunities.
There's, like I said, some challenges, but the biggest challenges, is the lack of choices for home buyers right now, and the lack of number of homes on the market. And I want to bring you in on this conversation, Eddie. Go ahead, Tracy.
Which leads to one of our topics today, which is home builders and the lack of land for them, and what has happened to impact that even further in 2020.
So there was an article in the New York, not the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, the better New York Times, the Wall Street Journal about the challenge that home builders have, not just locally here in Albuquerque, but around the country, finding ready to build lots for sale. There's a shortage. It's not like they don't want to build homes, it's that they just can't because they don't have enough dirt to build on. Now, Eddie, you know the story of the local builder that's been kind of fighting to get a development out of the ground, on the west side. And they've been, I don't know, it's been 2-3 years, I think. And they've got multi-million dollars into it, and they still can't get it done because, not because the neighborhood or the community or the piece of dirt isn't zoned for use for residential. It still has to go through planning and zoning to do the subdivision and all that stuff.
How long have you been at that, Hugo?
It's been at least 2 years, but I think it's been
maybe
longer. I think longer.
What does it generally take for most people, Tracy, to get through, the approval process? If you were taking someone through the approval process on their own piece of land, how long would that generally take?
Yeah, it would take a while anyway. A year, maybe more.
Okay. It depends on what,
or less.
So it's different things, Eddie. So let's say you have a piece of, you have one of those 0.89 acre lots in North Albuquerque acres, right? You can break ground tomorrow, right? You can start, that's already zoned, it's already subdivided, it's all ready to go for that. But if you are a land developer or a builder that is developing land for builders, did I say that wrong? No, I did say that wrong. But you get my point. Yeah. So if you're either developing land to sell or developing land as the builder, you're looking at a 2-year process. So, you go and find a, let's say a 5-acre parcel, probably on the west side. That's basically where it is, maybe Rio Rancho. You're looking at a couple years of before you're ready to actually start building. You got to do the financing, you got to put the whole deal together, you got to figure out utilities, you got to do all the studies, environmental studies to get your roads and sewer and everything in place. And it's just a long process. And at the end of that, a finished lot that a builder is going to buy from somebody that's, put all this time and energy into the lot, they're going to be spending $70,000 for just a residential lot on the west side right now. I mean, think about that. I mean, the challenge I think we're going to see is just affordability dropping for us, because builders can't build a home for under $250,000 if they're paying $70,000 or $80,000 for the lot. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
And the cost of money and holding that land and the time to get it developed, all of that plays into that cost, right?
And so, yeah, it's a long process. And, you think about that. If you're a developer and you've got $2-3 million to invest to build out a neighborhood, or take that money and put it somewhere else, the problem is you're making an investment for something that's going to happen 2 or 3 years from now. So it's a risky proposition, and not a lot of people are doing it.
Right.
And so many people got burned back in 07, 08 when all these lots were developed, and then boom, the market fell away. So people are much more cautious.
Right. And the other thing that I see, Tracy and Tigo, is coming into this, they could be holding them through the cycle. The opportunity is now, right? I think there's a shortage of property that's available in the market. It's a great opportunity, especially if you have land that's ready to build. They do. but but they've been held up. I mean, I think there's a claim. I hate to say it like this, but given the type of product that it's trying to turn out, which I think is between 250 and 350, I'm just guessing. Is that what there would be?
Right now in Albuquerque proper, you're not going to find new construction for under 300.
No. This new land, this particular development. Yeah, I mean, their target is probably 250 to 350, but they might actually have a claim because those products would fly right off the shelf. They would literally be sold. Every one of those things would be in escrow tomorrow, I would imagine. Maybe even just with your buyers. I think it really is that, and they'll have that type of claim. And the city of Albuquerque isn't doing itself by any favors by not getting this thing done.
Well, it's interesting. So there was this thread that McKinsey put out there, McKinsey from Abraza Homes. And, just talking about this Wall Street Journal article, that's where I first saw it. And that, he basically said, what did he say? He said that the battle is real or something, that, they just can't get enough lots to build on fast enough. And and somebody made the comment along the lines of, well, they should just be doing infill. Well, you go talk to a builder that's ever tried to do an infill project in Albuquerque, and you ask them how easy that went. I'm just telling you, infill sounds good, and it sounds good if you're, talking, policy-wise, and it sounds great, and it's a good talking point in campaigns. This is about as political as I'm going to get because it's the thing I do every day. Is they talk about infill. Oh, we want infill. We don't want sprawl. We don't want this. Well, then actually don't just talk it, actually have the policies and make it possible for these guys to do, I say guys, but guys and girls, to do infill.
Well, this project is sort of infill,
right?
It is. It's right between Oxbow. It's like by St. Pius there, in the bluff, down by the river, between Bosque School, La Luz and Oxbow, one of the two right in there. And it's infill, but it's really being held up because the neighbors keep protesting it. But that's the thing about infill. If it's a lot here or there or a small thing, the neighbors already use it to walk their dogs. They don't want somebody next to them.
Well, the term is NIMBY, right? It's not in my backyard. It's like, yes, we want infill, just don't do it in my backyard.
And I'll just finish this off with this because I know the area that you're now speaking of. And I grew up.
That's right.
Taylor Ranch. So right above the hill, that's right there. And as you see Taylor Ranch looking down, La Luz was actually one of the first communities that was ever there. It goes back to the mid 70s. So Taylor Ranch was built on something called College Heights right there. And you can see the first house that's right there. And then Delane that goes right up that road. And then Luce is at the bottom of that, and it overlooks. And many of those people, if you go in, and I doubt many people have actually traded away from their homes from there because they've owned those houses free and clear, and they own the Rio Grande. It is an amazing development. So I can understand the pushback, but given what and Brian, I know he knows it well. I know Brian very well. He grew up in that area, just on the other side of St. Pius High School, so he knows the value of that property, and I can only imagine there will be a time where there'll be some give, and I hope that is soon. But we need more product out on the market. We should definitely talk about that. This is the best time in the world ever in Albuquerque to merchandise your property. We, of course, have our homes of the week, some open houses that could be virtual open houses, and we'll let Tigo and Tracy take it away. Thank you both for including me in that conversation, and we'll keep an eye on what's happening over there.